So this is our first meeting of the fiscal year. Before we start, just some Zoom etiquette. Keep yourself on mute if you're not currently speaking, so there's less background noise. And if you're comfortable with your camera on, please keep your camera on, so I'm not just talking to a screen. That would be really great. And let's get started. So for this meeting, if you have any, my little pop-up bar keeps popping up. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute and jump in or ask your question in the chat box, and then Christine will announce the question at an appropriate time. So I would like to get started with SWE's overall mission, vision, and strategic goals, as well as our core values. So SWE created this really great infographic that's available on the website under branding to help remind our members what SWE is all about. So if you have your own meetings with your section, I think this is really great to include because it serves as a really good reminder for why you're meeting and what ultimate goal you're working towards. So I really like SWE's vision, a world with gender parity and equality in engineering and technology. And how we're going to achieve that is through professional excellence, globalization, advocacy, and diversity and inclusion. So this is online on the SWE website. And today's agenda will be starting with a diversity moment. If you don't know what that is, that's fine. We'll be going over what a diversity moment is and what an inclusion champion is. Then a quick look back at FY20 updates for this current fiscal year, call for volunteers. So we are looking for more volunteers, a group photo, awards and recognition, and then some closing information. So what is a diversity moment? A diversity moment serves to affirm our commitment to diversity and inclusion within SWE and during our meetings. So one of its primary goals is to raise awareness of different D&I issues and to encourage open discussion. These typically happen within the first 5 to 10 minutes of a meeting. We'll try to keep it short for this meeting because there's a lot to go through, but some examples of what a D&I moment could be is sharing statistics and facts about diversity and inclusion, maybe a book or a video that you watched that really was impactful to you, or doing roundtables or breakout sessions on a certain D&I topic. So we're also introducing inclusion champions. So for the inclusion champion, we designate an individual to call out behavior that's not inclusive during the meeting. So if I say something, or if something doesn't seem right in the presentation, the purpose of the goal of the inclusion champion would be to speak up and be empowered to call it out and hopefully get us on a more inclusive track. Also, they will be monitoring the chat for instances of when we're not being inclusive as well. So I do have one D&I moment to share. So today is actually Yom Kippur, and I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. It's a significant holiday in the Jewish community, and I was told before this meeting that one of our allies, an ally to the affinity group, won't be able to make this meeting because of the holiday. So I think it's really important to be aware of the different holidays that might be affecting your community. And I wasn't aware of this, but it's definitely something I will keep in mind for future meetings, just to be more thorough with our, to avoid those conflicts in our schedules. Does anyone else have a D&I moment to share?
Yeah, I can share one. Hi everyone, my name is Christine. I'm the community lead for the AG. You probably see me posting a lot on Facebook. But my diversity moment for today is that it's Hispanic Heritage Month. From September 15th through October 15th, we celebrate the contributions of Latinx and Hispanic Americans to our society and moving forward. There are over 54 million Hispanic Americans in the States, and we should take time to acknowledge the impacts that they've made and the great things that they have done to us as a general public. So the Latinos AG of SWE has been celebrating this through podcasts and member highlights. I'd highly recommend checking out the Altogether blog for this information and also their Instagram account where they've been posting all the member highlights. So get a chance to go ahead and meet some fellow Hispanic engineers. And it is a great way to start supporting other minority groups because engineering isn't just in a bubble. So I think we can go ahead and spark a conversation and post in the chat about how you think you can best support other minority groups being a part of one. So I'll also be posting the links to the Latinos AG Instagram account and also the Altogether blog post that kicks off Hispanic Heritage Month.
Thank you, Christine. So typically the speaker for the diversity moment is also the inclusion champion. So if you're comfortable with being the inclusion champion for this meeting, you are now the inclusion champion. All right. So I don't believe I've introduced myself. My name is Lisi Q, and I am the lead for the Asian Connections Affinity Group. Yeah, and I will be leading this meeting today. So what is ACAG? So a brief history of the affinity group. We were actually launched last year on August 7th, 2019. So we recently celebrated our 1 year anniversary. And within this short span of time, we've actually achieved a lot, and it's very exciting to be a part of this group. So our membership is open to Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, and allies. So you do not have to be API, Asian Pacific Islander, to join. As long as you have an interest in supporting this community and learning about the different issues and topics that are relevant to us, you are free to join. So definitely share and invite your friends to the affinity group. Quickly, our goals are to recognize and empower the API women engineers in SWE, provide programming specific to our community, and to serve as a platform for our community to have important discussions around relevant issues. Another goal is to diversify the SWE leadership pipeline by creating essentially a pipeline of leaders to society leadership and senior leadership. And another one of our goals is to collaborate with the Society of Asian Scientists and Engineers, that are known as SACE. So we're currently in the works and we have a MOU with SACE. We're currently in the works, collaborations are currently in the works, and we have an MOU with SACE. So some FY20 successes. FY20 was a very exciting year because that was our first year as a full-fledged affinity group. And within that year, we've reached 300 members. Actually, on our 1 year anniversary, we actually hit 300 members. And currently we're up to, I think, 345 members. We've grown at an insane rate in 1 year. In addition, we've had meetups at We19 where we discussed the strategic planning for the affinity group and had essentially a focus group of our members. We also had a photo shoot. Another significant event during FY20 was we celebrated Asian American Pacific Heritage Month for the first time in SWE. And that was really exciting because we had podcasts, blog posts, and member highlights, which you can find on Altogether. So for FY21, we have different leads for the affinity groups, and you can see the Asian Connections Affinity group is there. If you're interested in joining any of the other groups, they have a similar policy where you don't need to be part of that group necessarily, but you can be an ally and still join that group. One new addition to this year is the introduction of board sponsors. And I believe we have one board sponsor with us today, Dana Johnson. I think she's on the call today. And it's really exciting.
Yep.
Hi, hello.
Hello. Sorry, I don't have video going, but yes, I'm here.
And it's really exciting because this really shows SWE's commitment from senior leadership to really support the diversity and inclusion and our minority communities or our specific interests in business interests. So this is really exciting. And besides Dana, the other board sponsor is Harododi, which is the FY21 president of SWE. And they serve as a direct line for us to voice our concerns and to have discussions on the direction of our community within SWE. And of course, our board of director liaison is Barbara Brockett. And the lead for D&I is Iblis. So within the affinity group, this is the structure of the team, the leadership team. There's a lead and vice lead. And within the AG itself, there are different areas of focus, so building community, professional development, and empowerment. There are specific lead positions associated with those focus areas. And we're actually looking for more volunteers. We're looking for a vice lead, social media lead, professional lead, and collegiate engagement lead, as well as a mentoring lead. So our structure is actually really flat. And we also have advisors, which are individuals who provide perspective to the group that we currently do not have. So to ensure that we're really diverse, because Asian is such a broad term that it's difficult for the current team to encompass every facet of that group. So this is the current team, and we have a number of our volunteers and leaders with us today in the meeting. If you're interested in joining the team, you can find more information on the positions. If you scan the QR code on your screen, it'll take you to a form, and within that form is a document with the position descriptions. So we are looking for a vice lead. And the vice lead would basically be serving a 2-year term, 1 year as the vice lead and then another year as a lead. It is a significant amount of commitment just due to the nature of the number of meetings we have to attend and people we have to interface with. But it's any of these roles and joining any aspect of the leadership team is a very good way to develop professionally and to develop your SWE leadership experience. So the deadline for applications is Sunday, October 4th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So this was extended. It was today, but now there's an additional week. So another really interesting aspect of SWE is SWE provides demographic information. And looking at this chart, you can see that there are at minimum 4,600 Asian women in engineering within SWE. So right now, our community is only 345 members, give or take a few. So we only represent a small fraction of the group. And one of our goals is to develop our membership and visibility within SWE. So we have that network and community. And for We20, we have a number of events and activities coming up. The flyers are work in progress, so don't scan the QR codes. They don't actually work right now, but we're planning to have watch parties for a few on-demand sessions. We have 3 on-demand sessions: Lost in Translation, How to Maximize Your Asian Culture, Not Crazy, Maybe Rich, Definitely Asian, and Year 1 as a SWE affinity group. We will also have a live session with Dennis Hirotsu, who is an executive advisor for the Society of Asian Scientists and Engineers. And he'll be giving a talk on unlocking Asian American leadership potential on November 7th at 11:15 a.m. Central Time. Right after that session, we'll have a affinity group networking session. So kind of like this, but hopefully on a larger scale. If you're a collegiate, there are conference registration grants that are due in October. So if you're thinking about going to conference, but you're on the fence, maybe due to the cost, definitely apply for the grant. And it's free registration, so really no reason not to attend SWE. And I would be very excited to meet everyone at SWE20. Okay. All right. So before we take the Zoom photo, do we have any questions in the chat about any of our goals, the purpose of the affinity group, anything like that?
No, Lisa, I think we're all good. We did get a few more responses to the DNI moment, which I really appreciate. But yeah, we have no other comments in the chat.
Okay, so I'm going to stop screen sharing. And if you could turn on your camera, if possible, for this photo, I'll take a few. Should be very quick. Okay, I'll give a countdown. Okay, ready? All right, 3, 2, 1. And before I lose this. All right, looks awesome. Thank you, everyone. Go back to screen sharing.
Can you make sure that you block out my messiness? Put a fake background in the back.
Yeah, I can blur some stuff out if you want. All right, so, and the next part of the meeting is we will be going over some award recipients, SWE20 award recipients. So this is very exciting, and I'm going to pronounce some names wrong, but a number of API women within SWE are receiving awards. So a few within the affinity group. So Lauren Pan will be receiving the Outstanding Collegiate Member Award, and Nikita Tiwari will be receiving the SWE Distinguished New Engineer Award. And SWE's top honor, the Achievement Award, will be going to Jayashree Seth from the 3M company for her work within the society and in the STEAM community. So it's really exciting. In addition, we have a number of people who will be recognized for their patents. So Jen Levine from Sikorsky Aircraft for 1 patent, Han K. Loy from 3M for 2 patents, and Nikita Tiwari, Intel Corporation, for 1 patent. And so that shouldn't say SWE20, that should say, there's a little typo, but for the SWE locals that were this year, we have a number of individuals who also received awards. So Nicole Wan, the SWE Local New Elite Award, and Simi Hawk, PhD PE, for the SWE Local Engaged Advocate Award. And I believe she's from Drexel University, and a number of our leaders are from Drexel. So let's give everyone a round of applause. So you can clap or, can emote. So it's really exciting to see so many of our community being recognized for their achievements and hard work. So Yay. In addition, we have one of our own, Vanessa Lee of Novellus. She will be admitted into the Women in Manufacturing Hall of Fame. So she's part of the inaugural class of inductees, and the virtual ceremony will be on October 1st. October 1st. So Vanessa is here actually. So yes, yeah. Well, congratulations. Very exciting. And Vanessa, feel free to share the link to the ceremony if you would like. I think it's really great to support each other in the community, which is the purpose of doing these shout outs. And some upcoming events and reminders. So we have quarterly Asian Connections AG meetings like these, and we're planning on putting out a member survey as well as an official roster. So I know there is some confusion on how do you actually join the affinity group, and besides the Facebook group, there isn't a way to track members of our group. So chances are these will be two separate forms, one for the roster and one for the survey. And the member survey is going to be really important, and once we release that, please fill it out. It is a bit long, but it's going to provide us a lot of information on what sort of programming you're looking for, what issues, and cultural events that you're looking forward to. We also recently released a SWE Asian Connections AG under the name SWE Asians AG on Instagram. So if you have Instagram, please follow us. And we're also on LinkedIn. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing now. So that was the bulk of the information of the meeting, and the presentation will be shared online as well. Are there any questions about our events or activities? Sure, Vanessa.
Can you clarify for this group that for those that want to volunteer, do they, like, what kind of commitment they need to, like, is it a year, or do they have to be a SWE member, a pay member, or something like that?
Okay, so if you're interested in volunteering, I highly recommend you visit the QR code. It's also on our Instagram, and it will be posted on Facebook, and read the position description. So we have a few that cover the range of our activities. The minimum requirements is attending monthly leadership meetings, as well as 3 additional hours on top of the leadership meetings. So 4 hours total per month of work towards the affinity group. And it's open to SWE members. If you're part of your SWE chapter, but if you're not a SWE member yet, not a paid SWE member yet, depending on how many people apply, then we might be able to onboard you. But of course, if you're a paid SWE member, that takes precedent. As for the vice lead role, you will need to be a paid SWE member. Okay. Do we have any other questions? So hi, Khan. Hello. So we actually have the CEO of SACE joining us today. A show of hands, how many people here are also members of SACE? So you could, raise your hand, or you could use the reactions. So how many people here are also SACE members? Yeah, awesome. So if you haven't heard of SACE, it's free. Yes, it's free, and they also have an annual conference similar to SWE. And we're currently working on a few events, collaborations between the two organizations, maybe on the topic of male allyship within the Asian community or other topics. So if you're interested in learning more about them, you can visit their website. I believe it's saceconnect.org.
Hey, Lisi, I have a presentation for the SACE conference this year.
Oh, wow, really?
Yep. Yeah. Connecting in a virtual world.
Yes, I remember. So yeah, and I believe, Khan, do you know if someone else from SWE is presenting or is a speaker? I think the lead researcher of SWE.
Yeah, I believe so. So, hello everyone. Thank you very much. Been an ally since I was in college, which I won't date myself, but it's been decades. So I was a SWE member when I was in college, and you can say it either is a very forward-thinking, progressive person that I was in college, or you can say that that's where all the women were, and that's where I wanted to be, and so that's why I joined SWE. So you can choose one of those two answers. That being said, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for letting me be an ally. My wife is a computer engineer at Amazon, so I understand what it's like to be an an ally on that personal level. But um, the other thing, my connection to SWE is Betty Shanahan is one of my mentors. I love her. The people at SACE, especially some of the senior advisors who've met her, my board have met her, and they love Betty. So then those of you who've been around SWE for a while know who Betty Shanahan is. She's an amazing lady, and just can't say good enough things about her. And then, of course, I'm friends with Karen. Karen and I, this year we, as many of you know, have a MOU with SWE. So SACE and SWE has an MOU, and we're looking forward to working together. One of those things in the MOU is to collaborate at our national conference. So Dennis Hirotsu, if you get a chance, he will be presenting live at the SWE conference. I highly recommend that if you get a chance to attend it, or if you can't make his session for whatever reason. A lot of stuff at SACE is free. If you didn't get that, we have free membership. We'd have no requirements for you to join us. So you can log on right now online and get all the stuff for our membership for free. And also you can get on our YouTube site and you can see all the webinars that we issue for free too. So we're a pretty free society. And actually I blame that on, or I credit that to Betty. Betty was the one who guided me in in that thinking. So SACE is, we try to put a lot of product out there that's easy accessible. That being said, I just want to appreciate the time and energy, and if there's any way that we can help you and I can help you, please let me know. And EC, Vanessa, and Hunt have been, we were on a recorded panelist. So again, you can access that if you are registered for the SWE conference. So again, thank you for the time, and yeah, please let me know.
All right, awesome. So we finished relatively early, which is exciting because one common feedback I get is that my meetings are too long. They're too drawn out. I like hearing the sound of my voice. So would people be interested? Yes. So thank you, Jen. We have a few deadlines for We Locals coming up. We have the We Local Awards, which are due September 30th. Session proposals for the conferences due October 9th. Travel grant applications for Albuquerque due November 1st. Collegiate competition submissions November 10th. And travel grants for the other North American conferences are due November 30th. And they're all on the We Local website. So if you're not familiar with We Locals, they're kind of like regional conferences, but since we've done away with the regions, they're called We Locals, and they're a smaller community that you can interact with, more local community, and they're kind of like a mini We20 or like a mini We conference. All right, so would people be interested in breaking out into to breakout rooms and having maybe a quick discussion on your Asian connection, maybe why you decided to join us today in this meeting? Yes, yes. Yeah, awesome. So I'm gonna try to figure out breakout rooms. There's 18 of us here. Let's do groups of 3, so 6 rooms. No, 6 rooms. There we go. And this is random, so Good luck, everyone. We'll reconvene in, let's say, 10 minutes, and then maybe have a group discussion until the end of the hour. Sure.
So for We Local, do we know if those are virtual? I haven't really paid much attention to those.
I can
So
answer that, please.
Oh, okay.
So at this point, we're aiming for in person, but we're gonna do whatever's right. And so we'll know in about a month and a half about Albuquerque for sure, if it's something that we feel will be safe enough for people to want to attend. And by the end of the year for Buffalo and Des Moines. So as much as we want it in person, we're gonna go based on the numbers and based on what everyone feels comfortable with. So that is where we are. It will not be hybrid. It's going to be in person or virtual. So expect about a month and a half to hear about Albuquerque.
Thanks.
So before we break for the night, I dropped the volunteer application. So you can use that link. I'll also post it online, and I'll post the recording and the slide deck online. Thank you for attending. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. And yeah, have a great night. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to seeing everyone at future events. Bye.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.